Greetings Pokeballs and welcome to Eurogamer. I'm Ian Higton, and before you say anything, Pokemon is the correct way to pronounce Pokemon. So before you come at me in the comments like you did last time, please realise that you've been saying Pokemon wrong this entire time. Well, okay, technically both are right, so in this video about Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, I'm going to mix up my pronunciation of Pokemon in order to please everyone. Pretty sure I'm still going to biff all of the names of the new Pokemon though. Last week, Eurogamer's reviews editor Chris Tapsell went hands-on with an hour-long demo of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, and afterwards he sent me 9 minutes worth of brand new Pokémon Scarlet and Violet gameplay, so I figured why not break down his excellent article into a list of 11 things that you need to know about the game. That way you can learn all there is to know about Pokémon Scarlet and Violet before it releases on the 18th of November. See, we've already learned something. During Chris's hands-on, he was able to drop by his home village with a team of Pokémon made up entirely of newcomers like Sir Titan, Wiglet, Farigiraf, Armorage, and Bellibolt. Sorry, Bellibolt. And there he was given a choice of 3 tasks. He could take on a gym battle on the Victory Road story path, battle the Titan Pokémon Clorf on the Path of Legends, or take on some Team Star grunts and a boss fight in the Starfall Street path. In the space of an hour though, he managed to do almost none of that because he got distracted, lost, allured, and slightly baffled by Pokémon's first properly open world. I say first properly open world, but there will be some caveats here. Pokémon Legends Arceus, which almost unbelievably also released this year, was sort of open, although it was more of a Monster Hunter-like game with distinct open areas separated off from one another. Scarlet and Violet are open, it seems like an Elder Scrolls game is open, with the main world seemingly accessible to you more or less from the off, but with some loading screens separating you from major cities like Messagoza that act as their own discrete areas. The environments are varied. Hills, deserts, cliffs, caves, oceans and more came up in that 1 hour in one small corner of the map. Your Koraidon acts like a combination of all the transportation Pokémon in Arceus, or the Rotom bike of Sword and Shield, letting you jump, run, climb and glide around the world in real time, while the more traditional fast travel style flying was unlocked from the off. At least for Chris it was, which allowed him access to a large number of places of interest around the map. And there are a lot of things to find, including 4 lighthouses standing in the north, south, east and west edges of the map. Chris climbed the southern one but found nothing there in the preview, so maybe they play a more important role in the story. At Pokémon centres, outdoor structures that look like petrol stations rather than shops, there are trainers who give out challenges, like beating a certain number of nearby opponents in a set time, while there was a kind of collectible side quest linked to one new thing that we can't mention. Thanks, Nintendo. Scarlet and Violet have introduced a new Let's Go command system that sees you send your party Pokémon off to battle and collect whatever comes up in front of them as you travel. Unfortunately, Chris thinks it feels a bit too passive. In his words, old school wild encounters had directness, as you choose how to order your party according to which Pokémon you wanted to level up or carry you through a tricky cave, while Arceus' new system had intentionality to movement itself, where it was important to sneak up on Pokémon to land critical catches or dodge genuinely dangerous foes. Scarlet and Violet's is between the two, and while you still have to think about which party member you're sending out, the result feels a bit like playing Pokémon Go with the Go Plus accessory turned on. More efficient, definitely, but then also detached from the action itself. It may change in the context of the full game, however, but here Chris found himself avoiding using it altogether. Many friction points of old Pokémon games, or even just quirks that might not have added much friction at all, have been sanded down and removed. The Pokeballs that have contained items and have dotted the regions of Pokémon since Red and Blue now have little glowing vertical beacons, making them easily visible from far off, and they seem to be everywhere. Experience Candy, a new item from Sword and Shield, earned from max raid battles that you could use to level up your Pokémon gradually, seems to be discoverable in these overworld items too, making it more readily available than before. Trainer battles are now entirely optional. You can walk up to a character and interact with them if you want to battle, with none triggered automatically on eye contact like before. Even the Pokeballs you throw to catch Pokémon do their little 3-time rock at twice the speed, seemingly to make battling through encounter battle catch fests faster, albeit in the wake of Arceus' more fluid, interruption-free process of just lobbing balls into the overworld, it's not as fast as it could have been. Scarlet and Violet's multiplayer elements are an improvement over previous games. You can now add up to 3 players to your game in co-op by standing on a yellow pad at any Pokémon Center and inviting them in, and there's a surprising amount of independence. After 4 players joined into one game and had a quick Koraidon race, they all went their separate ways, taking on story missions and exploring at seemingly unlimited distances without dropping out. Similarly, raids return here and are a clear improvement on Sword and Shield, largely thanks to the switch to a form of real-time battling. Everyone plugs in their moves as and when they can, with speed stats dictating who attacks in what order. Like before, the raid boss Pokémon have a large health bar you need to whittle down, and periodically kick out a few special abilities like removing stat changes or starting to crystallise, where at least one of you will need to use the new terastallizing gimmick to dish out a bit more damage before a timer runs out. Also, like before, these raids spawn around the world at certain points, and on completion, you all get a single chance to throw a ball and catch it, which can fail if you're unlucky. Camping is still a neat distraction, similar to how it was in Sword and Shield. Here's some footage of someone making a ham sandwich while camping. Has anyone checked on Lechonk recently? Your trainer is heavily customizable in Scarlet and Violet. Don't believe me? Here's some footage. Maybe the most concerning thing, with launch less than a month away, is that Scarlet and Violet seriously struggled with performance. Some might have noticed brief moments in recent trailers where a windmill moves at a stuttering stop-motion speed and Sunflora follows the main trainer with some very choppy motion. This may just be because Chris played an early development build of the game and not the final retail version, but he found Scarlet and Violet to be like this throughout. Menus were slow and noticeably laggy, and the animations were hugely choppy, with NPCs moving like flickerbook drawings even at a very close distance, and town buildings were loading in as he walked through the streets. Again, we are pre-launch here and things can of course change, but Chris has played a fair few Pokemon game previews in his time, and Scarlet and Violet are without a doubt the roughest feeling of those he's covered. And that's all we're allowed to show you today, Pokepals. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to Eurogamer for almost daily videos about video games, and before you leave, why not click on one of these other Pokemon videos that are on screen and clickable right now. Have a lovely day. Goodbye, Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. See, it's bloody, it's in the song.